All right. Well, we made it back. There we are in the backyard. We got it parked. Okay. So anyway, this is the rudder. This is all rusted yet. Everything's just kind of been, we're testing things. um, this was kind of our first. That outline was the first rudder we had. Uh, and then later we added this fin down here, but it wasn't where it is right there. It was just came from here all the way forward, so it just kind of pulled this whole thing forward, those 5 inches, and that worked a lot better. That was a big improvement. But what we just discovered is, when you have it, this is the axle of the rudder. So when as it goes forward like that, part of it catches the movement of the boat, but all this prop thrust right here gets caught by this now. So it made steering a lot better. Before it was kind of, long circles to get around. This is, I wouldn't call it ski boat type, but it's pretty tight. And it turns better to, I think, the right than the left, but we got an adjustment to make here. But all in all, it did well. We got stuck once, no, twice, in the same place. But we learned a winching technique to get off. That's the trailer and all. Yeah, the winch right there did great. It saved us. We were up on a stump, and we think the stump was in the middle of this pontoon right here. You're not really sure, but you think it's right there. It might be over here, but we've kind of run up on a stump. Now we're stuck. So we took a rope, and we actually went under. We threw the rope off each side, and then we kind of drug it through the water until we got caught on the same thing this is caught on, a stump, and then ran the ropes up to here, right? Made a loop right here, hooked the winch up, and it pulled that rope. As it pulled that rope, it kind of levered off this bow and was grabbing the thing down below like a lasso, and it just pulled us right off. So that's credit to John on that one. Really smart way to get off that stump. So yeah, I'd probably still be out there. And this worked brilliant. I'm going to take full credit for this. Where am I? I can't do a camera. Yeah, see what we did here? That's the snatch block going down to this pull point right here. And that goes all the way back to the winch. So what happens is when you hook up, that's Thelma. You get double strength. The pulley makes it double strength, and it also centers it on the trailer. Before, when we pulled it up, it would go left or right and be kind of sideways, and you got to work it back. But putting it here, it brings everything to the center. And you get double strength here, and you can take that pin out and go single line if you want to. And that's how we jack it up and down. We had a scissor jack or a bottle jack on this end, but we took it off. And that's kind of where this guy got put in. And we just use that 4-foot jack to lift it. It's a lot easier. It's just kind of a hassle to drag it around in and out. That part's could be much better. And these deck boards are loose. Some of these nuts are missing under here. So when we're backing it into the water, half of them are floating off. It's our push pole. That's how we store it. But we didn't have to do much to get out of here. That's what makes it nice. You just leave it kind of loaded up with most of the stuff you need. It can stay out here in the yard. Doesn't need to be covered. I don't mind if it gets rained on, of course, and I don't need to blow it out or anything. So it's an easy to use boat. That's kind of was the idea. I didn't want to have to take care of anything too much. Doesn't really collect leaves, and it can stay right out here. Needs to be cranked up, or those kind of things. So I think the next project, we're back to this, is rethink the rudder design and completion. This is, these are all testing ways of testing. So what we learn through each one of these steps. And this, I'm afraid, is going to end up being a problem. This was the thing I bought, the magic ingredient that came off a mud puppy. And you're throwing dirt on me. But it's starting to throw grease. And I just filled it up with grease yesterday, and I think I may have gotten some water in here. So these bearings, they're probably taking a. That's not what they're designed to do. So that may catch up to us, and I'd like to replace all this. I don't have any. This whole drivetrain from that prop all the way up to the transmission. I'd like to get rid of all that, all this unit completely, and have just a regular standard inboard motor shaft. That's the shaft out of the original truck. Well, we extended it a little bit, and then we attached it to this lower unit. This used to go to another motor, and I just bought it from a guy, and welded it all in place. Real simple. I mean, not very elegant, but just for testing an idea, it was a success. Steering up here. This is our weak link right here. This guy right here, see, it just levers off everything here. This rack right here goes all the way through up in there somewhere to the front steering linkage, the original truck steering linkage. Anyway, so this just kind of pushes in and out based on what you do with the steering wheel. Just a series of links up there. And this just turns this way, obviously, and that levers all that. Yeah. Crude but effective. All right, and then, there's a good storage box full of heavy things that travel down the road just like that. There's nothing, there's no ropes holding it in place, nothing. Maybe a little caution would be good to tie it off, I think, still, but just as a point, it stayed right there. It's heavy the whole way back from the boat ramp driving down the road. And that's the front linkage. That's how things are connected. That's the original frame right in there. And that's the steering linkage, and that bar going away from us here is where it ties into the Ranger steering. So we just cut it off right there and made this series of linkages. Ran up through an unnecessary pipe. That pipe could come out of there, but it makes noise. And that goes up to the power steering box way up there at the very end. So that's nice. That's the River Ranger.